what's the best way to get up a mountain? You throw a motherfucker up there and use him as a giant fucking just wedge in the fucking earth. So yeah, another chapter of Gintama, and yeah, a little bit mixed with comedy-wise, and you know, a little bit more on the whole little backstory between everyone. Like, one thing that I felt that was a little bit weird, especially in this chapter, was the like knowing that, you know, the Mimawari-gumi and as well the Shinsengumi, that they actually already had a little bit of the past. Like, this part has been pretty much like stated that, you know, these guys really didn't know each other from the start, but they were like, oh, it's just by coincidences, like when like Kondo and like everyone else is on like the, you know, their journeys and stuff before they really became like the Shinsengumi. They, you know, the Mimawari-gumi had like sort of like, you know, a actual like confrontation once before. Like, you know, they saw the director once before, and it was like just kind of like weird to see that they actually, you know, saw each other before, and you know, it looks like already that they had like a clash of ideals, and it was like, you know what, fuck it, let's just send their fucking boats to the grave. And so what they did was just blow all their fucking shits up, and it's like, you know what, we're gonna use these as fucking decoys, because one, that's just gonna fucking set off a massive signal to us saying that, yeah, you guys fucked up, and not to mention as well, you know, that means that they're coming from the back of them. So it's like really good ploy for them to do where like landfall isn't fucking possible. So they had to like literally climb up there, since they didn't expect anyone to go from that area. But it's like, yo, they can just easily climb that shit if they had like a, you know, something that's worth climbing. And they were saying like at first when they got there, it was like, oh, Kagura's gonna take us up there because, you know, she's like the really strong one. And it's like, Okita's like, wow, you know, that's really cool of you. It just ends up throwing like Sogo into the fucking wall of this like whole giant area, and just his face is just like complete, just like, he's like, oh fuck this shit. It was just like fucking, just like all like blood just on the rope and shit. It was like, what the fuck? Like, they literally like used them as fucking stairs to climb up this whole wall. It was just so like fucking weird. It was just like, what the fuck? Like, what are they doing to this like poor ass people? It's like, I feel really bad for them. But it's like, you know, they're like, just like, yeah, when we got there, it was like, yo, Ty, like, you gotta stay here, you know. It's like, you gotta remember all those good times. We can't have you, you know, seeing this shit. We're gonna get, you know, Kondo and everyone back. It's like, don't you worry. I don't know. It was just like this chapter. It was just felt a little bit like weird how we saw like Katsura and everyone just like they just knew everyone already. Like, even like Katsura sort of had like a knowing of him, and it's like everyone had sort of like a little relation to one another, which I don't mind, but I feel like it's being a little bit too forced why these guys are getting along so closely. It's like, hey, maybe they share the same ideals, but they share the like, same fucking like teachers. And I kind of liked at the end and all that. It's like, you some stray dog bastards, you're noble wolves. And it's just like both Kondo and Katsura cutting down enemies. I was like, yo, that's some nice, sick fucking art there. I really did like that. And the chapter also showed that, you know, Gintoki isn't a fucking idiot. Like, as much people, he actually strategized in this chapter, saying, you know, hey, let's get him from the side where they ain't going to expect us to go from. We're also as well going to be using the boats as decoys. I mean, he was one of the fucking main players in the Joey War, so it was like, I really do, like, this shows, like, how fucking, like, clever he was, and although he fucks around most of the time, especially with the stair shit in this chapter, I mean, this one was a pretty good one. It should have been a little less, like, philosophical. I think that's, like, one thing that's, like, definitely Gintama, like, can be one of its biggest strengths and weaknesses, but now it's, like, you know, you're kind of making everything a little bit big. Like, you know, even like Kondo and Katsura, like, meet each other. It sounded like just a little bit weird in my eyes. Like, you know, not everyone had to know each other. Like, that's the kind of thing I liked from the start. Like, everyone came up from, like, different paths, like, different branches of life, and that they managed to, like, find each other and, you know, find a common connection. That's something I like. But now it's like, I don't know. See, like, maybe as well, like, I guess it's had to feel a little bit slower pace than the other ones we've been having, because a lot of them, like, from what we've been having, it's like, it's been really developing Kondo and the rest of the guys, so I think, like, maybe in how we should start kind of getting up to, like, the conclusion, but I want to at least see next week's battle. I want to see, like, Kondo and Katsura, like, reunite with Gintoki again, and then have like a final clash with the Mimawari-gumi. That's sort of like where I want to start seeing this chapter go into. But yeah, really enjoyable chapter. Probably give this one a 7 this week, but that's all for me. So thank you very much for watching as always, and I'll see you guys next